Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today I'm excited to talk about a very cool offlane MIRANA game that Mid1 just played. This is a hero that I'm a fan of. Honestly, I didn't think he would have a great game this game, only because I feel like offlane MIRANA can struggle against heroes like Lesh that can heal off of him and just outman up the MIRANA. I feel like MIRANA is not particularly good against Zoo, because yeah, the arrow does kill the Helm Dom creep, but not the Helm of the Overlord creep, so not great there. I don't really feel like it's good. I was just shocked it did well. That's all I'm going to say. I'm shocked it did well, and I'm particularly shocked it did well because as we quickly go through the draft here, what we noticed from Team SMG is that they open with Bane Shaker. Now, when you open with Bane Shaker, unless you are a really weird set of players, this is your support duo. These are your supports, right? These are your supports. However, what is even more weird is, I mean, I guess it's not that weird, but they don't try to flex at all, right? They don't try to flex at all on Team SMG. The next pick on their draft is MIRANA, which basically means that Hikori has the option to counterpick this MIRANA. Now the only thing here is that yes, this MIRANA could technically be mid if Hikori doesn't know about Team SMG, but it ends up being the offlaner. Like straight up ends up being the offlaner. Now they pick a Night Stalker, which is even more weird because you'd think that's the offlaner, and yes, this is then a MIRANA mid. But I guess maybe Hikori picks Luna, and they're like, okay, we can't lane Night Stalker into Luna. We don't want to lane Pango into Luna, so we're going to put MIRANA off lane. Very weird stuff. But either way, we're going to see it play out, see how Mid1 does this game, and yeah, learn a bit about a cool build. And quickly, I wanted to briefly let you guys know that the Game Leap website is currently 50% off if you use the code POG50 at checkout. I'm telling you this because number one, I think it's a good deal, and number two, I'm making a lot of top tier content over there, live game analysis, replay analysis. I'm going to be uploading some coaching sessions eventually, very, very soon. So I have a lot of things that I think you guys should go check out. So if you're interested in more content like you get here on YouTube and stuff that's really going to help you get to the next level, I'd appreciate it if you could use the code POG50, get your 50% off, sign up to the website, and I'll see you there. Alright, so the first thing to note is a very, very heavy stat build. I feel like this is one of the downsides of MIRANA. Your base damage is pretty underwhelming, and so if you don't go something like this, you know, you're going to struggle. First thing he does is he actually immediately goes for the arrow. I love that. Gardeck's tanking the arrow in the ranged. Oh, that's good. That's good, because the thing is, oh, and he actually fishers. Well, that's a risky fisher, because now you don't have a range creep secure. I guess he fishered for a melee creep, but they're probably going to lose the range now, as Mid1's going to get traded out. I guess the MIRANA does kind of trade decent into Undying. That's kind of one reason why they could go for this, as he arrows a melee creep. Interesting. So I guess he's just trying to prevent the wave from shoving too hard so he can make sure he can get some CS. But overall, I don't really feel like this pick makes too much sense from a laning perspective. I'm shocked if they do well in this lane, primarily because MIRANA should get dumpstered in the early waves by Undying. Yeah, you can take Leap, but you can't really out-trade the guy. Your movement speed isn't great, which means he can kind of close the gap. And I am a little bit even surprised to see Gardeck not try to wrap around the trees and close the gap on Mid1 a bit, forcing him to take more of a defensive posture. Either way, the CS is going to obviously go crazy in Luna's favor, just based off the Undying, putting a ton of pressure. So yeah, tough start. Let's see how he turns it around. So honestly, the most important and impressive part of this lane was really the CS. He just completely came back and proceeded to miss like no last hits when he got the opportunity to CS anything. And it was actually insane how well he did that. That's always a big thing for me. If you guys are trying to gain rank and you don't know why you're struggling, honestly, I hate to always exaggerate last hitting, but it really is just a massive deal because it enables him to get this Wraith Band, boots, and then eventually they pick up a First Blood. Beautiful Fisher and Arrow, very clean combo. I do like it this game. The enemy team has no hard dispel. However, if they did pick like Abaddon or Omni Knight, honestly this combo wouldn't, or this set of combo, like this Sleep and Arrow or Fisher and Arrow wouldn't be nearly as good, but they don't really have an answer besides Lycan units, so it is pretty strong as they look to go in the MIRANA. Good discipline there to not commit on the kill, and oh my gosh, the Lesh completed the TP bottom. That's crazy, a level 5 Leshrac TPing bottom. So he gets a big rotation to the bot side of the map, and now, with 3 points in Starstorm, he could even consider pressuring out the Luna. On top of that, I like his item build here, going the Falcon Blade. I think it's pretty necessary, because Lunar Blessing is going to put Luna up to, what, 80-something? 94 damage. So if you don't go, right, if you don't go some sort of DPS item, and you go greedy, or you go like Mana Boots, for instance, the Luna should deny practically everything if she decides to go that route. Luna actually pushing in the wave pretty hard, which is a bit odd to me. Because she doesn't even have glaives to jungle. I don't get why you would shove the wave, but either way, moving on. Yeah, he picks up the Falcon Blade and arrows the cart. So one thing about Mirana offlane that is really powerful is just your early game skirmish potential. Starstorm is just one of the best abilities in the early game. It's such a high damage nuke at about 500. I think it does 525 damage total. It's actually double leaps in, going for the Lesh kill, hitting the double Starstorm and picking up on that kill. And with Treads, you have such low base attack time and such a great animation that with something like Treads Wraithband Falcon Blade, you just absolutely dominate. Also skips the ulti, which I think generally is the right decision. It's just not really worth taking, as it's way better to have early nuke damage on this hero. Following from there, mid one basically sits bottom for the next 8 minutes of the game. Yeah, 12 minutes in, sits bottom. You can see that he's looking to connect and he's definitely keeping it open as an option. Obviously, this game, his hero is particularly valuable as they have so much follow-up on the arrow. Like, so much. Actually ends up arrowing the centaur there, but really, really good arrow follow-up this game. Or setup for arrows. So his rotations are going to be really important. I was even honestly thinking that he might max the arrow this game just because of the synergy that he has. I feel like that would be a viable option. However, he actually decides to max Leap, which is the more common build on a core Mirana playing around Maelstrom. At the end of the day, Maelstrom is one of the highest damage items in Dota if you have attack speed. And considering they actually buffed this hero quite a bit, the attack speed bonus, or the speed bonus, lasts for 4 seconds now, which is really, really massive. Because in the past, it was 2.5 seconds. However, you absolutely shred for a long period of time, right? 100 attack speed is ridiculous. Moonshard is what, 130? 140, okay. So Moonshard's 140, Leap is 100, right? You can imagine how fast you attack on Mirana. So of course you're going to buy Maelstrom, right? Because Maelstrom, as I said, is like the highest DPS item in the game if you have high attack speed, which is why any hero that, like for instance, Furion, really low base attack time, loves Maelstrom. Just the perfect item on the hero for farming and fighting because of how it synergizes with his built-in attack speed. From there, he's going to farm up some camps. It really costs you nothing to farm, so like in between fights, you should just be autoing camps on Maelstrom as they actually hit a bit of a combo. They don't hard commit on the Lesh, but you can see the damage. Well, he got 3 procs and 4 autos. That is that is terrible. That Lesh just nearly died to 4 auto attacks. But from there, I'm going to push in the bottom side of the wave. Of course, if you're going to pick something like Mirana offlane, you got to be a little bit greedy, right? For sure, you got to be a little bit greedy. You're going to have to play the greed game. Otherwise, the hero is just not going to feel that good. So next up, he actually queues up the Manta, which I'm going to keep it real, I super hate. The only thing it's good against is Eclipse, in my opinion. It's okay against Lycan, I guess, to like sort of get him off of you, as that's so much damage. And it really, this buff from 2.5 attack speed duration bonus to 4 seconds is so noticeable. Like old Mirana would just, you'd really have to burst them immediately, but it just lasts way longer now, giving you a huge gap of time where you can get down the enemy. So this was probably the major buff to Mirana as a core. The reason why I think this build in play is actually viable. And there's honestly not too many great position 4s that are initiators, but like Earthshaker, for instance, loves having a Mirana offlane because it lanes quite well. And of course it has a lot of setup as well for the arrow. So works out. I will say that the main downside of this hero is that if you do want to leap in, it's a big risk as you're very squishy, which is why I personally feel like you have to go BKB like every game. It's even a fine DPS item, and you really don't need more DPS than Maelstrom. So I was surprised to see him go Manta, and you might be like, oh, it's because they have Lycan and Luna and all this physical damage, but I don't know, man. Whoa, that is a crazy commit. He dead? All right, that was crazy. And as I was saying, you're really squishy when you blink in or leap in, which is why it's kind of dangerous. It's extremely dangerous. All right, so he ends up getting both of his leap talents, which is pretty cool. You actually have a 35 damage talent at 20, leap distance at 10, and leap attack speed at 1580, putting you all the way up to 180 attack speed. It's like half a focus fire. It's crazy how fast you hit. So if you do manage to hit people, you chunk, which is why honestly here I was a little bit surprised. Okay, no, I guess he did leap from about max range and annihilates the Marcy. So Marcy gets caught out of position. And if he does want to leap on the Lycan, which he might do here, he's got to be careful about the Lesh. Okay, Lesh commits in, so he can double leap. Yeah, that's a good play. That's a good play. So he can leap in twice. Arrow comes out. Oh, gets hit by a wolf. And no, he's out of leaps. This is why I don't really understand why he didn't buy BKB. I'll keep it real. I really don't get it. I wouldn't recommend going this route, but he did play this fight overall very well. Just to kind of reiterate what he does well, you always want to go on the person on the outside of the fight. Don't dive deep early. Even if you have BKB, you're going to die to most physical damage because, I don't know, you're just not that tanky and you're a ranged hero. But yeah, if you can find people on the outside, you annihilate, right? Just do so much damage in such a short burst of time. And then from there, you can see he wanted to go on Luna, which she has Aegis, so he didn't want to hard commit. Probably should have finished off the Aegis right away. But I get why he doesn't make that play, right? He wants to finish off the Lycan, it's reasonable. Commits in only when the Lesh blinks, because if he blinked, if he leaped in before Lesh blinked, then Lesh would have just stunned the ground, right? Lesh would have just pushed him off, and it would have been bad. Now, unfortunately, the arrow got blocked. Maybe if that arrow doesn't get blocked, he could commit in. But unfortunately, Analog on the Leshrac is just a little bit too strong. That hero's pretty nuts right now. But yeah, maybe they kite him out. They probably kite him out. Oh, never mind. they tried. Oh, maybe they do it now. Disarm. They're gonna get him. Oh no, not the Lesh 1v9. Oh no. This Lesh hero's crazy, guys. I'm telling you. Alright, now he queues up the BKB. That's what I'm talking about. Another cool item you can buy is Gleipnir. If you have literally zero arrow setup, it's good. If you have arrow setup, just buy other items. Like, oh my god, he's going Mjolnir. This guy's crazy. He's crazy. I feel like the shield isn't that good because you can't really man up. You gotta put it. If he puts it on himself, he's a psychopath. Because you're not tanky enough to really abuse the Mjolnir shield on yourself. Nor do you really need attack speed, so kind of a psychotic go. But oh, the arrow onto the Luna. Whoa, okay, that was really bad. They're like gripping the arrow stun. How did that work? Where's their team? That's crazy that worked. But all right, the Luna damage comes through. He's going to Mjolnir as they unfortunately catch out the Night Stalker bottom. They still could look for the kill. They could roll into an arrow. Or just Fisher into an arrow. That works too. Upping not to leap in, and that's what I'm saying. If he bought BKB, he could comfortably leap in. But look at the damage. Oh my gosh. I will say, with the Manta, you hit a little bit harder if you can still leap. But man, that damage. You can see the potential here. When you hit level 15 and you have 180 attack speed and a Maelstrom, that's all you need. You don't need, a million. Like, people will go like Deso Daedalus. You don't need that. It's so bad because you can't even click anyone. You're too squishy, which is why I even kind of doubt his build a bit. But I think it's good, but he's really got to be patient, and that's going to be the key thing. I'm not trying to like completely dump on Midwin. That's not the point of the video. I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh, I think he's a bad player. I'm just saying he's gonna, with this build, he's really gonna have to play in a very specific way, which is let the Night Stalker go in, let the Pango go in. He does have the heroes to make this build more viable, at least, right? Where it's like, okay, he has people to give vision. Bane gives vision, Night Stalker gives vision, Pango gives vision, and they have follow for arrows. So if they were gonna play some sort of like giga damage Mirana, this would be the comp to do it with. So I do respect that. As here, you can see he's gonna have to back up behind all of his teammates. Hitting Tombstone's kind of risky. I guess I feel like it's fine. They don't really have a hard initiator, to be fair, which made this pick a little bit better. Marcy's not great at initiating, as, oh my gosh. Wow, they're just getting ripped apart as the arrow misses, but leap comes out, and this is where the damage comes through, right? Sure, the BKBs kind of counter you, but you want to kite him out, right? You have leap charges, you can kite him out. He actually picked up his shard just for more leap charges as he gets stunned by Marcy here, but he'll be able to kite that out. Good Manta, shouldn't throw the arrow, it's gonna miss. Okay, why did he throw that? Leaps in again, he's out of leaps now, he's gotta be careful, but Lucent Beam comes out, and here comes the damage. Once again, I think he should have bought BKB. I just feel like I'm watching these fights, I'm like, if he could just commit on someone and not have to be so afraid, he'd be able to just annihilate and take out a target, which would then open up the fight from him. But either way, pops the Manta, Mjolnir Shield, and yeah, there it is. If the fight does manage to break apart, and you can just go from target to target and pick them off, which honestly is pretty easy in pubs, as long as you have discipline to go in last, and then go on the person that overextends the furthest, like, whoo-hoo. This isn't one-time speed, by the way. That damage was one-time speed, as, oh my gosh. Honestly, they would have killed Luna if he got to sleep. That was a good play. That was a really good try. Oh, they find the Luna. That could be an arrow. Oh no, it hits the large creep. No. Oh, they'll finish off the Roche. Wow, they didn't take Aegis on Mirana. Okay, they put it on the Night Stalker. Interesting. All right, and to watch the last part of the video, we're going to see a devilish Echo Slam and just pure raw damage come out from this Mirana. He's got the Daedalus. Right now, he's really online, hitting for 370 with 180 bonus attack speed and a crit. No, he's going to be able to pop off. Goes in. Crit's coming out on the Leshrac. Not too much armor. And that's a massive 3-man echo. And look at the follow-up AoE damage from mid one. They're going to look to chase as well as he hits the arrow. And that down goes Luna's HP. I mean, that's some crazy damage. Huge echo from Mafu as well. Shout out the boys. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.